The Lookout Podcast, Episode 6, Power of the Artist / Songwriter.
I'm a master craftsman, I'm always changing and adapting, honing my vulnerabilities lacking. The wolf is the pack is the wolf. You only as strong as your weakest links, so my strengths never take it for granted.
Welcome to the Lookout Podcast. This is Mixtape Meeko hosting. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Lookout. And also give us a like on Facebook.com/The Lookout. Also keep visiting thelookout.com if you want to hear dope music. Thelookout.com is the place to go. If you're an artist who has dope music, submit it to thelookout.com. Just send an email to music@thelookout.com. Also join us on Sundays for Smooth Sundays on thelookout.com to hear, some smooth soul and R&B. And artists, you can also submit your music for that. Also, same thing, music@thelookout.com. That's where you send your emails to. All right, I've been following the freestyle battles for a while now. The URL battles, and I was just the latest one I watched was the Tay Rock versus Ill Will, and I thought that was a really good battle. And what I thought about was how do they determine who's the winner? Like, is it something I'm missing? Every time you do a battle, you have the people in the comment section saying, "Oh, this person won or that person won." But how do we know who is the official winner? Like, do they ever announce that? As far as the Ill Will and Tay Rock battle, I had to watch it again because to me it was kind of close. I had to watch it again to determine the winner. But if it's something I'm missing, let me know, because I want to know how they determine who wins those battles. The topic for today is the power of the artist / songwriter, and I really don't have a lot to say about that because it's pretty basic. I'm pretty much just saying that as an artist, when you hear a song, you have the power to transform that. If you're an artist and you hear a beat, an instrumental, you have the power to turn that into something great or something horrible. So that's pretty much what this is about. And I'm gonna just go into a little story that kind of relates to this topic. So years ago, and it was before I got the MPC. This was at that stage where I knew how to make a beat and convert it to MP3. So I was pitching beats to this artist, and his response was, these were his exact words. He said, "I need hits." He was listening to the beats, and he'll be like, "Oh, I like this one and I like that one, but I need hits." So basically what he was saying is, that he wanted beats that sounded like whatever was on the radio at the time. And at that time, I really didn't know any better, so I actually thought to myself, okay, let me go back in the studio and try to switch my style up. And I don't really consider that switching my style up. It's pretty much mimicking what was on the radio, because I don't see nothing wrong with switching your style. Like, it's good to explore. It's good to see how versatile you are, as long as you don't lose yourself. But that's what I was doing. I was, said I'm going to go mimic radio songs. So, usually when I'm in the studio, it's fun. I can be in there for hours and hours. But at this particular time, it was the total opposite. I was in there trying to make things that sounded like the radio, and I just stopped. And I was like, okay, it just wasn't fun. I just stopped. Now I kind of went a little bit too deep into the story, because I should have stopped at the part when the artist said, "I need hits," because that is what relates to the topic of the power of the artist and songwriter. Now, a lot of artists, they listen to beats and they're in the mind frame that these beats can take them to the next level, and that's the wrong mind frame to be in. Now that's not to say, that's not to say that you should just choose any beat. Of course you want a good beat. You want something that touches you. But a lot of artists, they don't look at it that way. Like they'll listen to a beat that they like, but they'll, because it doesn't sound like what's popular at the moment, they'll pass by it. But at the same time, it's artists who they will choose stuff that touches them. And it has to be, and that's based on the individual artist, because it may be a certain instrumental that touches you, and I may not like the beat, but it's important that it touches you, and the beat you choose isn't influenced by what's popular. It's by, pretty much your heart, what's in your heart. So as an artist, you shouldn't choose beats with that mind frame of the beat can take you to the next level. You should look at it as, okay, I like this beat. Now I'm going to make my verses sound this way. I'm going to do this, and this to transform this beat into a completed track that's a masterpiece. That's the mind frame you should be in. And that's what I mean when I say the power of the artist / songwriter. Now, if you want to get really deep into it, the producer has a lot of power in this process too, because the artist may write to this song, and as the producer is guiding the artist through the recording process, they have to stop them and say, okay, this part you have to do it like this, or that was good, or change it is. So now when you're collaborating like that, both of you have the power, or however many people is involved in the process. But ultimately, it's on the artist, and I say artist / songwriter because you could be a producer who makes a beat, and you already have a vision for it, and you write to it, and you give it to an artist, and then you go from there. And that's why performance is a big part of the whole having power thing also, because the way you perform the song has a lot to do with, almost everything to do with how it turns out in the end. Now, I'm sure I know everybody out there has heard a song where the beat was just amazing. It could have been an amazing beat, but the artist didn't really come with it. And the song ended up being, you probably would never listen to it again. You wouldn't repeat it. And it was kind of a waste of a beat. And on the flip side, you've heard songs where the beat was just just a mediocre beat. But because the artist, the way they just came with it, this is a song you're repeating now. It's a song that's, the overall product is a good song. So that's what the power of the artist is. So for any artists who listen to instrumentals, and you sit down, stand up, or however you do it, but you write to this beat, or freestyle, or whatever your process is, you have that power to take that track, and on a scale from good to bad and everything in between, that's what you can make that instrumental into a completed track. It's either good or bad, or something in between. That's basically what this is saying. Now, as the producer, you have to let the artist know that they have the power to take this beat and take it to another level. Because I can almost guarantee that you're going to come across artists who are in that mind frame thinking that the beat is going to take them to the next level. But you just got to let them know. If you're in that situation, let the artist know. Say, hey, the challenge is on you now. Can you take this and make it into something? Now when I say that, I mean that's if you have the artist who you're showing the beats, and they say, I like this one, and then give you that, but it doesn't sound like this. Sit it in front of them and say, hey, okay, you said you like this beat. Do you think this is a dope beat? If you think it's garbage, we can push it out of the way and move on to the next one. But do you like this beat? Yeah, I like the beat. If the artist says, yeah, I like it, then say, okay, we have an assignment or whatever. We have this in front of us. Now we have to complete it and make it into something. And that's what it is a lot of the time. The artists, they're following, I want to say a formula, more like a trend. They're just following a trend. Like they hear something on, whether it's the radio or wherever they're listening, they hear something and they follow that. Like a lot of them are scared to do their own thing. And I think that's what separates you as an artist, when you do your own thing. It's safe to follow whatever the popular formula is now. What is it now? I think it's like making an annoying hook that's catchy, and then that way you can slack off on your verses, just as long as that catch is hooky. I mean, as long as the hook is catchy, then you're all good. But when you come across that producer that throws you a beat, you're not going to know what, like, it can be an amazing beat, but you're not going to know what to do with it. And that's why you just have to start doing that now. Like, challenge yourself and have the mind, like, stick it in your mind, keep it in the mind frame that you have the power, to transform these instrumentals. You just got to keep that in the back of your mind. And that's basically all I have to say. Like, I can give you stories and stories, and I do that. I give you I'm gonna use K-Flow for an example. And for those that don't know, K-Flow, that's an artist I work closely with. And the reason I'm gonna use him as an example is because he has like too much dope material out there. So I think it's cool to speak on the time when he was slipping. So he had recorded this song. He actually recorded it somewhere else, and he brought it to the studio, and I listened to it, and it's like, okay, I like this song. I like the verse, the hook. I like all this, but it was something that just wasn't right about it. I like, the beat was cool too, and it was just something that wasn't right about it. And I'm listening, and it was nothing wrong with like the verses. That's another thing. As an artist, like, you have to be really particular on your craft, because I'm listening to this song, and like, it was nothing that needed to be changed in the verses as far as the words or the lyrics, none of that. But it was just something, and you could feel it. It just wasn't right. So I'm like, let's re-record this song, because I like where this song is going, but it's not really doing that right now. Like, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So we simply re-recorded the verses, and I'm talking about the same words, same cadence and everything. We just re-recorded it, and then I mixed it and listened to it again, and it was like night and day. And what I realized was that like, when I was listening to the first version and then the second version, he just wasn't as comfortable. He just wasn't like 100% comfortable when he was recording. It sounded like maybe it was kind of rushed in a way, but it's funny how you can notice those things in songs, and when he was here, we just re-recorded it, and he was 100% comfortable when we did it here, and it changed. Like, the song was just, to me anyways, it was just listenable, because at first it wasn't, I won't say that it wasn't listenable, it was just something missing, to where if we had ran with that, I would probably listen to it, and it's one of them songs I would skip a lot. But just by simply being comfortable as he was recording, 100% comfortable, made a big difference, and it transformed it, and it's just crazy how it transformed that track. Even though no lyrics were changed up, the cadence wasn't changed up, everything was the same. So that's another thing you got to pay attention to as an artist, just your comfort. Like, to me, comfort is a big thing. When you're comfortable, it just, I don't know, it makes things easier. It just makes things easier because you're more relaxed and you don't have the frustration of discomfort on you. So there you go. And I told y'all this was gonna be a short one. You know, basically, like, to sum it all up, as an artist or a songwriter, when you have these instrumentals and these beats in front of you, you have the power to transform that into whatever you want it to be. So that's the best way to sum it up. As an artist or a songwriter, just know that you have the power. And thank you for listening. And other producers or artists, I want to, you know, hear some of your stories or feedback on this. I definitely want to hear from the producers that have dealt with artists like this. I want to know how they handled it. You know, I want to hear how different artists or producers have handled situations like this. And I also want to hear from the artists, like, you know, like, just your input on this. So thank you for listening to the Lookout Podcast, and we will see you on the next one.
The bars are outrageous, delivery's amazing. Swift with these lyrical lips, my shit's almost bigger than Fantasia. Misunderstood and underpaid and underrated. First time around, I told them I was under mainstream's ground. Understatement, standing out like dark skin next to Sinbad. Infuriate a hater till they get mad. Verses get on their nerves like a third-degree burn. Victim with skin craft, greatness in my veins penetrate the surface.
Flow is just becoming one with